Hello and welcome everybody for a webinar on cytokinesis. These days we are dealing with cytogenesis and we have covered introductory part of cytogenesis and today we will deal with cytokinesis. My dear students, in cytokinesis, two things are very important from your examination point of view, and those are two types of cell divisions. And you know those, mitosis and meiosis. You have studied cytokinesis earlier also, but this is your part of syllabus even for human anatomy for first BHMS. So I am dealing with this topic today. Well, at the outset, let me tell you that cytokinesis means cell division. In cell division, there, there is no necessary of nuclear division. Without nuclear division, if the cell divides, that is also called as cytokinesis. But in mitosis, there is a cell nuclear division, and that is why it applies for that also. So broadly, cytokinesis means cell division. Okay. And you know that there are two types of cell divisions, and those are mitosis and meiosis. These are the two types of cell divisions, and you may be knowing that why do cells divide? What is the requirement of this cell division? So without cell division, there wouldn't be a growth of an individual. There wouldn't be repair of damages, and reproduction would not have been possible if there was no cell division. So that is why mitosis and meiosis, these are required for the growth of the body, for the repair in the body, and for reproduction. So mitosis is a major cell division, and meiosis is a special cell division. So let us review it today within a span of say around 30 minutes. Okay. So mitosis and meiosis, these two types of cell divisions you have studied. So I don't want to waste time on smaller things. Let us try to understand something different if you find something different here. And at the end of this session, you can ask me questions if you find something different than what you have studied so far during your school days and during your junior college days. Okay. So for organisms to grow, mitosis is required because in mitosis, there is addition of cells in that particular organism. Like for example, human beings, you get cells added to your body. So in multicellular organisms like human being, some of these cells perform functions different from the other cells. So for example, if there is a growth in liver and if there is a growth in kidney, so the cells of kidney are different than the cells of liver, and that is the requirement of the body. So once they get differentiated to perform one kind of function, so they will do only that kind of function. That is why the differentiation takes place in mitosis. The process of cell becoming different is also called as differentiation. So under normal circumstances, once an animal cell becomes specialized to one type of cell, it can no longer form an entire organism. So for example, if the cell gets specialized and they form a liver, so from liver you cannot produce a full human being. It is not possible. But in case of plants, the cell can form entire plant. Like, so if you cut a branch of a tree and if you row it in the soil, put some water, and then it grows into another tree without seeds, without reproduction, what we call. So such things are called as process is called as totipotent. So plants are totipotent. So it is possible for plants to form another entire plant, which is not so in case of animals, that means human beings also. Okay. So this is a basic thing. I don't know whether you have heard about this word totipotent earlier. Okay. Next is, why do cells divide? Okay. The most limiting factor in size is the size of the cell membrane. The cells must obtain nutrients. As volume increases, cell surface area does not increase as greatly. Larger cells require a large surface area for cell survival. People are getting added late here. Cell division, with only cell division, how it differs from nuclear division. So if you take this word cytokinesis, the cytokinesis applies for actual division of the cell into two new cells. So when one cell divides into two new cells, it is called a cytokinesis. But here, not necessarily there is a division of what you call nucleus. Nucleus may get divided, nucleus may not get divided. So in case of mitosis, nucleus also divides and forms two nuclei. But in case of meiosis, there is no division of nucleus. That is, the number doesn't get half in case of meiosis. So cytokinesis includes both mitosis and meiosis, but in case of mitosis there is a division of nucleus. Sometimes cells go through mitosis without going through cytokinesis. Means inside the cytoplasm, nucleus divides into two nuclei, but it doesn't get totally separated. So that is what is called as this note is telling you about that. Sometimes cell go through mitosis without going through cytokinesis. When we go and see the different stages of cell division, we'll understand it in a better sense. Try to understand these steps of cell division later on. Now, some terminology related to cytokinesis is first is chromatin, which we have seen yesterday, which is a thin fibrous form of DNA and proteins. And sister chromatids are identical structures that result from chromosome replication. Now you see here anatomy of chromosome. Basically, you know what is chromosome because we have studied cytogenesis yesterday. Chromo means color, some means body, colored body, what we call. It has got a centromere and it has got a P and Q arm, and the end is telomere. Centromere is a point where sister chromatids are joined together. P is a short arm which is upward, and Q is a long arm which is downward, and telomere is a tip of the chromosomes. So this is a small, anatomy of chromosome which everybody should know. At least this much of things you should know. Very small diagram I have given here in front of you, and here I am showing you one picture of chromosome, which is actual chromosome taken from electron microscope. So you can see the colored thing. So that is why it's called as a chromosome. Okay. How do cells divide? We have seen this cycle of cell division earlier during your biology study. A sequence of phases into the life cycle of the cell. What you see, okay, gap 1, cell that sees division, then S phase DNA synthesis, and gap 2 and mitosis. The eukaryotic cell cycle which, for cell division here you see through this diagram. Now, how the cell get ready to split? Cell cycle has got two parts. First is growth of that cell and get it prepared to divide. So it's called as growth and preparation. So that means interphase. Then there is a cell division where mitosis takes place. That means nucleus divide. It's called as nuclear division. Then cytokinesis takes place where cytoplasm divide and those two daughter cells get separated from each other. Here the division gets completed. One by one we will try to understand different phases of cell division. So interphase occurs between divisions and it is longest part of the cell cycle. It is in 3 stages. You can see in this diagram. Here interphase in a electron microscope view. Interphase, the cell just finished dividing. So in gap 1, the cell is recovering from mitosis. Synthesis stage, where DNA replicates. We have studied what is replication of DNA. This is preparation for mitosis. Organelles are replicated. More growth occurs. So it is gap 2. Here you can see a diagram of division through R's. Mitosis begins after G2 and ends before G1. So That schematic representation is shown here in this slide. Here you can see prophase, prometaphase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Time taken is 80 minutes. Now what is prophase? The chromosome get condensed here and microtubules are formed. Nuclear envelopes break to get prepared for further division. In metaphase, chromosomes are pulled to the center cell, line up along metaphase plate. Here you can see metaphase plate where the chromosomes are pulled to the center. Okay. This is a histological slide of metaphase. Now what is anaphase? In anaphase, centromeres divide. Spindle fibers pull one set of chromosome to each pole. Now there is a pulling. Okay, you can see in the image also. And precise alignment is critical to division. So where the two daughters chromosomes are getting pulled, to each pole of that cell. Here is a histological slide of anaphase. Now the telophase. Telophase is the last phase. Here the nuclear envelope form around the chromosomes. Chromosomes uncoil. In the image you can see that nuclear envelope has formed around this chromosome. Almost the cell is separated. Now the cytokinesis take place, means separation of the cytoplasm also take place, and eventually the two cells will get separated from each other and the cell division gets completed. So this is the last part of mitosis, cell division. Now what is meiosis? I told you that meiosis is a special type of cell division because it is required for the formation of gametes. And gametes take part in reproduction, male gamete and female gamete. We are going to study that in detail in gametogenesis later on. So what is meiosis? It is a division of the nucleus that reduces chromosome number by half. You all know that human beings have 46 chromosomes in each cell, and all the cells in the body which are nucleated, they have 46 number of chromosomes, and this 46 number of chromosomes, if they get divided into 50-50, they become 23 each, and that provision is only for the gametes and in the gonads. So that is why this meiosis takes place in the gonad only for the purpose of formation of gamete. That is why it is said that it is important in sexual reproduction, and it involves combining the genetic information of one parent with that of the other parent to produce a genetically distinct individual. That means giving birth to a child. So that is why 50-50 from each parent, eventually an offspring is formed. For that purpose, to make reproduction happen, we require haploid cells, gametes, and for that meiosis provision is there. So let us understand this diploid haploid terminology a bit in a number form. And two sets of chromosome, that is 2n, in humans 23 pairs or 46 total in diploid, and in haploid one set of chromosome, that means n, gametes or sex cells also they are called as, in humans, which contain 23 chromosomes. So these 23 chromosomes in male and 23 chromosomes in female, you know that it is 22 plus X, and in males it is 22 plus X or 22 plus Y. There are two different gametes in male, X and Y, whereas in female there is only one gamete, it is always X, 22X. This terminology everybody should have on the tip of the tongue. Now chromosome pairing, let us see what is chromosome pairing. Each chromosome in pair are identical to the other, and they carry same genes for the same trait. I told you gene, what is gene yesterday. It is a section on the chromatin. Okay, only one pair differs: sex chromosome, X or Y. That means there are 22 autosomes and one sex chromosome. So it becomes 23. 22 plus 1, it becomes 23. Okay, so sex chromosome differs. A phases of meiosis we'll try to understand. A diploid cell replicates its chromosomes. Replication means we have seen what is replication. There are two stages of meiosis, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. What happens in meiosis 1 and in meiosis 2, that we will see now. Here you can see now this is a diagram which is a horizontal diagram showing you the stages of meiosis from a parent cell to daughter cell. Eventually we see that after the meiosis second phase you get 4 daughter cells. At the stage of meiosis 1 you get 2 daughter cells. Okay. Now, what is synapsis? Synapsis is a pairing of homologous chromosomes forming a tetrad. Crossing over means chromatids of tetrad exchange the parts. Meiosis 1 stages. Here you can see an image and what is meant by prophase 1. Chromosomes get condensed, just like how we saw that thing in mitosis. Homologous chromosomes pair with each other. Each pair contains 4 sister chromatids. So 4 sister chromatids means tetrad. This is prophase 1. Now metaphase 1, here tetrads or homologous chromosomes, yes, move to center of the cell. You can see they have moved to the center of the cell. These tetrads are these 4, 4 of them. In anaphase 1, homologous chromosome is pulled to opposite poles. Here the pulling is happening, just like what we saw in mitosis. And in telophase, daughter nuclei are formed and they are haploid, 1n. You can see here and here. The cytokinesis is taking place here. Eventually they will get separated. Now let us see what is meiosis 2. In meiosis 2, the daughter cells undergo a second division, much like mitosis. Now, why it is said much like mitosis here means what stages we saw in the mitosis, similar stages you will see here. No additional replication occurs. The sound is trying to warn you that this is very important. In this case, no additional replication occurs. Okay. Now, what is prophase 2? Now, we are understanding meiosis 2. So, what if he saw in prophase 1? Now, that is different. What we are going to see in prophase 2, that is different. Here, the spindle fibers form again. You can see here, spindles are formed in prophase 2. The chromosomes condense again, following a brief interphase in which DNA does not replicate. Here, you can see metaphase 2, where sister chromatids move to the center. In kinetochores of the paired chromatid line up across the equator of each cell, you can see the same thing in the images shown here. You can see the equator of this cell here. The chromatids of the chromosome finally separate, becoming chromosomes in their own right and are pulled to the opposite side. So here in the anaphase, you can see centromeres are splitting. Individual chromosomes are pulled to the poles. And here in the telophase 2, or what is final cytokinesis stage, 4 haploid daughter cells result from one original diploid cell. So this is the outcome of the meiosis, and that is why from one oogonium or spermatogonium, eventually we come for 4 spermatozoa. That is applied here. So that is why meiosis is a special cell division which is meant for the creation of gametes. Okay. Now let us have a brief review of mitosis and meiosis, or both together. If you consider, both are forms of nuclear division. That means in both the divisions, nuclear division takes place. Both involve replication. Both involve disappearance of the nucleus and nucleolus and nuclear membrane. Both involve formation of spindle fibers. If you see 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these similarities between mitosis and meiosis. So these are the similar points if you consider both these cell divisions together. And in the next slide, you will see the differences, of course. Here you can see the differences. In meiosis, so the meiosis produces daughter cells that have half the number of chromosomes as the parent. So grow from 2n to 1n. So this is about meiosis. And the daughter cells produced by meiosis are not genetically identical to one another. This is very important. That means when you get daughter cells as the outcome of meiosis, for example, 4 spermatozoa, if you consider, 4 of them are not identical genetically. So one which takes part in the fertilization will give its genetical trait in the makeup of a new offspring. For that purpose, the nature has done this kind of provision. In meiosis, cell division takes place twice. Remember this. So we say meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. In meiosis, cell division takes place twice, but replication occurs only once. So replication means replication of DNA. Okay. So what is replication of DNA that we have studied yesterday? So we did not waste much time on that. And my dear friends, this is what actually I wanted to tell you, that we are going for a just review of cytokinesis. And with this, we have finished today's topic, brief topic. In your examinations, they can ask you questions on mitosis or meiosis. Most of the time, many of the times, these questions are posed in anatomy paper 1. So even though you have studied this in the past, and tomorrow onwards we are going to other topics which are related to this topic, that means gametogenesis. Then we are going to study genetic. Then we are going to study embryology. That is why I have taken this. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. And yeah, or you can keep your questions prepared on the tip of your tongue. I'll come back to you. And with this, dear students, I thank you for listening me patiently. This was a small topic for your better understanding today, which I conducted. Tomorrow we are going for gametogenesis. So while studying, before studying gametogenesis, we should know what is cytokinesis, because they are interconnected with each other. And with this, I end my today's webinar on cytokinesis. Thanks a lot for patiently listening to me. And I'll come back to you tomorrow again at 10 o'clock. Have a nice day.